All right, there we go. So this is the Krenov Foundation Scholarship Application Information Session. We are reviewing everything that's going to be on the application and allowing any chance for questions at the end. So let's go here. So in general, the mission of the Krenov Foundation is to promote and encourage excellence in woodworking as exemplified by the work and writing of James Krenov. Through programs like the Krenov Archive, scholarships for the Krenov School, which is what we're talking about now, and support for exhibitions, we seek to share Krenov's vision and to nurture a diverse, inclusive, and thriving community of craftspeople. So just a forefront kind of who the foundation is and what we do. So specifically, the scholarship program is what we're talking about today. So we have scholarships for the 9-month program as well as summer workshops. And our goal with those is to make them accessible to people who might otherwise not be able to participate or haven't participated before and encourage them to do so. So most of our scholarships are open to all students. We do offer some scholarships specifically for those who've been historically underrepresented in the field of fine woodworking and in the school specifically. This is a reflection of our commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. Also, just so you know, I've shrunk y'all on my screen, so I can't see you. So just holler if I've missed anything or if you want to add on. We have my name is Maddie Hinckley. I'm the co-chair of the scholarship committee. In here also is Sam Cotton, who's the other co-chair, and Daryl Diekman, who's the president of the Krenov Foundation. So we're all in here together.
Yes.
This is a list of available scholarships. I'm not going to run through all of these, but I just wanted to make it clear that we have 7 scholarships. Some of those we have 2 of them available, and they all kind of do different things, and some of them are meant for different people. So this list will say whether or not it's intended for a first-year student, a second-year student, or either one. It will say whether or not it's specifically for, we have a scholarship for women, a scholarship for Black, Indigenous, and people of color, scholarship for LGBTQ people. And then the others are sort of merit-based scholarships that are open to anyone that aren't restricted at all. The bottom 4 were named after people who have some affiliation with the school. So I just wanted to present that we have a lot of different types of scholarships and we have several available. And it absolutely is possible for any student to be awarded multiple scholarships. So just because you were awarded the women's scholarship doesn't mean that you couldn't also be eligible for the Jack Rameen or the Smith Sorensen. So you can win multiple. Go forward. All right, so this is what you'll need. I'm going to go over these things more specifically as we go through, but these are the different sections that you'll see on the scholarship. So personal information, education and background, your financial summary. So I would recommend doing your taxes first because you're going to need that information and then filling out this application. You also need a statement of financial need. We'll talk about that a little bit. An image portfolio of your work. We're going to talk about that. And 2 letters of recommendation. So for the summer scholarship, you don't need those letters of recommendation. But I've included them here just in case anybody's interested in the 9-month. So education and background, what can you include? Well, for education, you can include anything from high school up. So you can include your gen ed degree in high school, any sort of college or university you've been to. And then we also encourage you to include trade school courses, community college courses, craft school courses, any sort of relevant workshops that you've taken. I know when I applied, I had taken a couple like intro woodworking classes at Woodcraft, like make a basic box and make a basic table, and I included those. And then in work experience, I would include any job that you've had that's relevant to what you might be learning at the Krenov School, which if you haven't been there, you wouldn't know what you're about to learn, but anything that's related to woodworking, carpentry, or general craft. So jobs unrelated to that probably aren't helpful for us. There is space for, I think, 6 slots, 5 slots. I think it's 5 slots. So feel free to fill them all, but this is the information that we're most looking for. Is that right? Okay. Statement of financial need. I feel like I skipped a section, but maybe I didn't. Did I? Nope, I didn't. Okay.
No.
So statement of financial need. So statement of financial need is a 500 to 600 word essay that you write to describe your financial situation to us. Most of these scholarships, the primary criteria that we're looking for is your financial need. That's the most important thing to us. Um, and so, some of that information can be relayed in your AGI and in the information that you would list in additional income. But those are just numbers on a piece of paper. What we're looking for is for you to explain your circumstances to us. What is your unique situation? What are your unique financial challenges that we might not get from just that number on paper? And I think for us, something that's particularly important is the impact of the scholarship to you. So this is your opportunity to tell us how this scholarship would make a difference to you, difference in your ability to go to the school, and how going to the school would sort of align with your goals, your personal goals, your educational goals, your professional goals. This is really your only chance to describe to us using language who you are and what you're facing and why you deserve a scholarship from us. So this is a particularly important section, is this 500 to 600 word essay. We really look closely at this. So I think of all the sections, this is the one to spend time on and focus on. I mean, they're all important, but this is important to us. Let's keep going here. Portfolio. So obviously, a portfolio full of furniture projects would be wonderful, of you making wooden furniture and devoting your time and attention to that. But not everybody's in that position. Like you're applying to go to a woodworking school. So you might not have an incredibly deep portfolio of woodworking projects. So you can include other things that are relevant to the field that evidence your skill, your attention to objects and detail, um, and your just commitment to craft, even if it's not the craft of fine woodworking specifically. Maybe you're not that in depth in that field yet. So these are images that I've pulled from other people from myself, and my application and other people that I know and things they've applied with. So um, my classmate Jesu Yang applied with ceramics because that was the field that they had come from and they were moving into woodworking. So they had some ceramic work there. I had illustration work. I had very basic, like, intro table stuff. And then I also included carpentry projects. This on the bottom right was a house that I worked on. So I did the siding and built the staircase of like a timber framed barn. One of the teachers, Eiler, has a story that he applied with Holzhausen, which is like intricate stacked wood. It's a Nordic way of stacking wood in these really intricate stacks, and he applied with that. So you can apply with things that aren't specifically wooden furniture projects and that are more tangential. But I think, and I think we as a review committee, as a foundation, we're looking for evidence of your attention. And so I would rather, 5 images of things that aren't exactly woodworking projects rather than 2 images of just woodworking projects because that's all you have. I think fill it out with things that are related is my advice. Moving forward to letters of recommendation, again, these are not needed for the summer workshops, but for the 9-month workshop, we do ask for 2 letters of recommendation. Obviously, academic or professional, like educators, teachers, bosses, colleagues would be helpful, but that's not all you can include. You can include friends, you can include family members. I would say consider those people's ability to express themselves in a written way. Like, can they write well? Do they know you well? How biased are they? And what positions do they hold? But really, you're looking for people who know you, remember you well. So maybe a teacher from 15 years ago that you haven't kept in contact with, not great. Maybe go to your aunt instead. Um, but anybody who can sort of speak to your work ethic and your potential in the program. The way that the letters of recommendation work, this is new for this year. There is a form within the application that you send them a link to, and they fill out the letter of recommendation on our website. They fill out a form on our website and they upload it. When they upload it, you will automatically get a confirmation email that says that they uploaded it, that they're done. If you haven't gotten that confirmation email, and the deadline is approaching and it's getting close to March 31st, it's your responsibility to ping them and say, hey, it looks like you haven't filled out your letter of recommendation first. This is just a gentle reminder. I'm so grateful, but it needs to be in on this day. Could you please fill it out? So that's on you and that's your responsibility. What will we ask them? So what should they know about you, how they know you, and how long they've known you? Those are pretty important. And then what are your achievements? What potential do they see in you? And how could you contribute to the class? What sort of positive attributes do you have that would benefit your classmates? That's a big one. Um, any obstacles that you've had to overcome? Going to the Krenov School is a joy and it's life-changing, but it's not exactly easy. So being able to overcome obstacles is an important thing for a potential student. And we as a scholarship committee want to see that you will be able to overcome those obstacles and thrive in the school, and then how they would rate your motivation and initiative in pursuing those goals. So my advice as somebody who has both asked for a lot of references and written a lot of letters of recommendation at this point as a teacher, when you ask for a letter of recommendation, I would advise that you maybe remind the person of some of these things, especially if you don't have regular communication with them. If there's somebody who was your boss a few years ago, or your teacher a few years ago, maybe just a quick little, hey, this is so and so. Remember me from this thing? I always really liked your class for these reasons. Would you mind? Like give them a quick little reminder of who you are, how they know you, and sort of what your involvement in their life was. Let's see. Eligibility. All right, this is a lot of text. I'm not going to read it all, but like I said, we have some scholarships that are specific to either first-year students, second-year students, women, people of color, or LGBTQ people. And so we ask you to self-identify if you fall into any of those categories so that we can award scholarships appropriately. So just to clarify, if you're a woman, you're a woman. If you identify as a woman, you're a woman. Black, Indigenous, and people of color. This is a list of identities. This does not include all people of color and all identities of people of color, but this is a pretty long list. And then LGBTQ, again, this is not an exhaustive list of queer people and queer identities, but these are some of the most common. So if you see yourself in these categories and if they apply to you, then we ask that you identify. You're welcome to not identify, but that would make you ineligible for scholarship. So if you don't want to tell us, for example, if you are part of the LGBTQ community, that's totally fine. We just won't consider you for that specific scholarship, but you'll still be eligible for the other scholarships. And similarly, if you don't identify as any of these top three things, that's fine. You'll still be totally eligible for the other general scholarships. We do ask that you tell us if you're either a first year or a second year. Everybody is either an incoming first year or an incoming second year. So please click one of those. That's pretty critical. Let's see, I'm gonna power through. Oh, and then applications are due by March 31st. I almost put midnight, but actually I'm not sure if it's midnight. I'm just gonna say it's midnight. It's probably midnight. We won't look at them till April 1st. So we'll say midnight. And I think that that's it. So that's just a rundown of the application, what you'll be asked for, and a little bit of my perspective. And this is our contact information. So at this point, I'm going to open it up to Daryl and Sam. Is there anything that I missed that you'd like to include?
I don't think so. Just that this page here, you can reach out to us anytime at awards, and we're happy to field any questions.
Yeah, that's yeah, definitely reach out to us if you have any questions, and you know, we will do our best to answer them. But I'd also offer it if you have questions about applying to the Krenov School itself. This is outside the scope, but I would happily accept an email and at least give you my experiences. You know, with what I had in my essay and at least how I looked at my experience at the Krenov School and what I thought was valuable. So I am happy to share those things. And as far as, like Maddie was saying, for the portfolio, my portfolio I was class of 2017-18. I had a lot of blacksmithing in it, some cutting boards, and a handful of projects from, like those 3-day workshops you take. So, we're not looking for woodworking that's supposed to amaze us. It's all about whether it seems like you're going to do well, what your motivation is, and just show us what you're proud of, talk about what you're proud of, and that's going to communicate your ethic and things like that indirectly to us. So that's all I have.
Oh, and to
Ellen?
that end, there was one thing that I forgot, which is, oh, can I go back? Oh, will it let me go back? Hmm. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I don't think that I included it on this page, but you do need to include an image list. I think it's probably here. You do need an image information list. And so that's just a document that says the name of the piece, if it has a name, what its materials, its dimensions, a little bit of information about like what we're looking at here. So you'll upload that. There's a section on the application right under where you upload all of your images. There's a section to upload that image information list. So we're not looking for like essays about each piece, just like very basic information of like, what are we looking at here? What kind of joinery is in there? I think that's helpful. Okay.